at that age, with no support, anywhere. And, too many of these folks end up in those positions.
Philip Bailey, lead singer of Earth, Wind and Fire, has captivated audiences around the world with his remarkable voice. However, behind the spotlight, he has undergone profound personal struggles and a remarkable spiritual journey. What has he faced? How has it affected him? How has he overcome it? Let's find out. Philip Bailey, one of the prominent vocalists of Earth, Wind and Fire, began his musical journey at an early age in Denver, Colorado, where he was born on May 8, 1951. He grew up in a family with multicultural backgrounds, which had a profound influence on his musical development. Philip's mother, a talented artist, played a significant role in nurturing his passion for music. She often played jazz in the house, exposing Philip to a wide range of musical genres early on. From an early age, Philip showed a strong passion for music. His mother often said that he sang before he could talk, indicating his innate musical ability. In particular, he has fond memories from his childhood of performing at local events and family gatherings, where music was often at the center of the activity. Philip's father was also passionate about music, but did not pursue it professionally like his mother. Although he did not live with the family, he kept in touch with Philip, sometimes taking him to concerts and encouraging his son's musical creativity. One of the defining moments in Philip Bailey's life was when he discovered the works of jazz legends Miles Davis and John Coltrane. This discovery came when he found a friend's mother's record collection. The works of Davis and Coltrane opened up a new world of music for Philip, full of creativity and emotional richness. Miles Davis's music, with its complex melodies and innovations in the jazz genre, influenced the way Philip approached music, while John Coltrane, with his deep and powerful notes, taught him about expressing his soul and emotions through music. Famous concertos such as So What and My Favorite Things by Coltrane not only made a strong impression on Philip, but also shaped his later vocal style, helping him develop a unique vocal skill with a wide range and excellent falsetto ability. Philip's connection with jazz went beyond just listening to the music and became an integral part of his creative process. The experience sparked new ideas in him and motivated him to pursue a musical career with great passion. Philip later incorporated elements of jazz into his R&B and soul music, establishing himself as one of the most prominent artists in the genre. Philip attended East High School in Denver, where he began to explore his musical abilities. One of the notable events was his participation in the school orchestra, where he had the opportunity to perform and hone his musical skills. In 1968, the school held a special performance to celebrate the school's founding anniversary with the participation of many talented students. Philip, with his excellent singing and performing ability, made a strong impression on his teachers and friends. In addition, Philip also participated in other school cultural activities, including music competitions and art shows, which helped him build his confidence on stage. After graduating from East High School, Philip Bailey attended Metropolitan State University of Denver and the University of Colorado, where he continued to expand his musical knowledge and skills. However, his most meaningful and authentic musical experiences took place outside of the classroom. While in college, Philip participated in many musical activities, such as performances and musical theater. But his musical career really took off when he began performing with local bands. He joined an R&B band called Friends and Love, where he was able to showcase his voice and performing style. Philip also spent time exploring different musical genres, from jazz to funk. As Philip Bailey continued to explore and develop his musical talents, he found inspiration from a wide range of artists. Jazz musicians such as Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Max Roach had a profound influence on his approach to music. But jazz was not his only source of inspiration. The distinctive sound of Motown, especially the music of Stevie Wonder, also played a major role in shaping Philip's musical style. He was also influenced by female singers such as Sarah Vaughan and Dionne Warwick, whose emotional performance and vocal control he greatly admired. Among his influences, Miles Davis stood out as a particular influence. Philip once shared with Billboard magazine that Davis's trumpet playing was a big inspiration for his singing. He was fascinated by Davis's ability to start a phrase anywhere and make it sound so elegant, a skill Philip would later apply to his own performances. As Philip developed his career, he began performing with the Phoenix Horns, playing concerts in his hometown of Denver. These performances were crucial in his development as a musician. Philip described this time as an invaluable workshop, recognizing that today's musicians often lack the opportunity to develop their skills through regular live performances. In 1972, Philip was extended an invitation to become a member of Earth, Wind and Fire by Maurice White, the band's founder and leader. This was the beginning of Philip's road to stardom. Even though Philip was attending classes at the University of Colorado at the time, this chance would alter the way his life would unfold from that point on. The fact that he was going to become a part of a musical phenomenon that would transform the landscape of popular music was completely unknown to him. The tremendous vocal qualities that Philip had were an essential component of the music of Earth, Wind and Fire from the moment he joined the band. The special characteristic that he added to their music was his falsetto, which was both distinctive and compelling. It wasn't long before Philip's voice became the driving force behind some popular songs that would come to define the band's career. Recordings such as Devotion, Keep Your Head to the Sky, Reasons, and Fantasy were examples of his extraordinary range and the emotional intensity he had. It is important to note that Philip's contributions were not restricted to solo performing. On several occasions, he collaborated with Maurice White on lead vocal duties, resulting in a dynamic and harmonic interaction that eventually became a defining characteristic of the music of Earth, Wind and Fire. While performing iconic songs such as Shining Star, September, and That's the Way of the World, their voices melded together in a way that was both strong and subtle, resulting in a vocal synergy that was quite remarkable. As a result of the creative leadership of Maurice White, Earth, Wind and Fire were able to swiftly establish themselves as a band that defied simple classification. They were not happy to be confined to a particular musical genre and instead chose to combine elements from a variety of musical traditions. By utilizing this fusion method, they were able to transcend ethnic and musical borders, therefore appealing to a varied audience that is continuously expanding. Even though the band's roster went through several shifts throughout its existence, Philip, Maurice, and Verdine White remained constant members of the band. Even as they continued to develop musically, they were able to keep their distinctive sound and vision intact because of the stability that existed at the core of the group. For Earth, Wind and Fire, Philip's voice became an increasingly important component of the band's identity. The sound of the band was frequently described as harmony and horns by both critics and fans alike, with Philip's vocals being an essential component of that harmony. His ability to strike soaring high notes and produce performances that were emotionally charged soon became a defining characteristic of the group's records as well as their live appearances. Throughout the decade of the 1970s, Earth, Wind and Fire saw a meteoric rise in popularity. Not only were they producing great recordings, but they were also reinventing what it meant to play live music. Not only did their performances feature music, but they also featured extravagant stage productions, which turned them into legendary events. Fireworks, theatrical references, and even vanishing feats that were devised by the well-known magician Doug Henning were all elements that were integrated into the band's performances. These incredible performances made it possible for Earth, Wind and Fire to perform in front of stadium-sized audiences, which is a feat that is generally reserved for rock artists such as Bruce Springsteen during their concerts. It is impossible to overestimate the impact that Earth, Wind and Fire had on the music that was popular during the 1970s and 1980s. Their ability to combine pop and R&B with rhythms and sounds from Latin America, Africa, and jazz resulted in the creation of a musical cocktail that was both one of a kind and impossible to resist. All of the band's honors increased in tandem with its growing popularity. Earth, Wind and Fire would amass an extraordinary collection of accolades and accomplishments throughout the course of their career that would span several decades. They had won 8 Grammy Awards and 4 American Music Awards by the time 2005 rolled around. Equally astonishing was their commercial success, as shown by the fact that they had 38 gold and platinum discs to their name. One further thing that solidified the band's influence on popular culture was the fact that they were given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Earth, Wind and Fire has managed to achieve a great deal of success, as seen by the stats. They established themselves as one of the most popular and durable bands in the history of music by selling more than 35 million records throughout the course of their career, which spanned more than 3 decades. The band's 23rd studio album, titled Illumination, was released in 2005 and received a Grammy nomination in 2006. This record highlighted the band's continuous relevance and originality. The influence of Earth, Wind and Fire was so significant that some commentators came to the conclusion that they were comparable to another iconic band and referred to them as the Black Beatles. Philip's success was about more than simply having hit singles or performing in full stadiums. It was about a lot more than that. He regarded the music of the band as a tool for conveying a more profound message. According to what he previously said, our message is one of love, but it is also concerned more with being mindful. The members of Philip's band recognized that their function extended beyond that of mere entertainers. In order to make people more aware of the opportunities that life and the environment around them present, they were on a mission. Over several years, Philip's function in Earth, Wind and Fire continued to develop and change. When Maurice White made the decision to reduce his traveling schedule in the middle of the 1990s, Philip stepped forward to take over as the band's on-stage leader. Not only did this change emphasize Philip's vocal powers, but it also highlighted his leadership qualities and his profound grasp of the band's ethos and artistic vision. Philip never lost sight of the significance of development and progression as an artist during the entirety of his career with Earth, Wind and Fire. He considered his voice to be an instrument that should be continuously investigated and improved upon. My voice is my instrument, and beyond being a percussionist, you never stop exploring the instrument and learning things over a lifetime via a journey, he stated. My voice is my instrument. All during his time on Earth, Wind and Fire, Philip maintained a forward-looking attitude about both his craft and his duty. He was not happy to merely duplicate the sounds that had made the band famous or to continue to bask in the glory of the band's previous achievements. Rather than that, he persistently pursued personal development and inquiry. To emphasize his opinion that the path of an artist is never fully finished, he stated, "I've never looked at putting a period there." In spite of the fact that they were surrounded by shifting musical trends, the band was able to maintain their signature sound while also adopting new ideas and components. During the time that Earth, Wind and Fire was experiencing unprecedented levels of popularity, Philip started looking into options that went outside the limits of the band. His solo career, which began in the early 1980s, would turn out to be a voyage of musical research and personal development. It would provide him the opportunity to demonstrate his flexibility as an artist, as well as his profound spiritual convictions as he was exploring music. The release of Continuation in 1982 marked the beginning of Philip's first time working alone. This album heralded the beginning of a new phase in his career, one that would see him explore a variety of musical genres, including gospel, jazz, and R&B, among others. However, it was his second solo album, Chinese Wall, which was released in 1984, that would fully establish him as a solo artist by establishing his reputation. Phil Collins, who also served as a co-producer on the album, was involved in the musical production of Chinese Wall. Easy Lover, which was one of the most successful songs of 1984, was the product of a collaboration between two of the most powerful musical forces of the day. In addition to becoming Philip's first gold solo single, this duet with Collins is also considered to be one of Collins' most recognizable recordings. Philip's capacity to make chart-topping songs outside of Earth, Wind and Fire was shown by the success of Easy Lover, which showed his viability as a solo artist. While Philip's pop sensibilities were on full display in Chinese Wall, other aspects of his musical personality were exposed in his future albums when he released them. His self-titled album Philip Bailey, which was released in 1994, and the album Triumph, which won a Grammy in 1986, both established him as a key presence in the gospel music field. With the help of these CDs, Philip was able to convey his profound religious beliefs via his music, therefore establishing a connection with his listeners on a spiritual level. The path that Philip took into gospel music was not a dramatic change. Rather, it was a gradual rediscovery of his Christian faith over his voyage. According to the account that he provided in his book, his relationship with the divine had been present ever since he was a youngster. But as time went on, it got more intimate. Because of the presence of Christian witnesses in his life, he had a spiritual awakening, which was further developed via Bible study, even when he was on tour. During the year 1980, Philip took part in a gospel play called Jesus at the Roxy in Los Angeles, alongside his friends Denise Williams, Billy Davis, and Marilyn McCoo. This event was a significant turning point in Philip's spiritual journey. The event had a significant influence, as evidenced by the fact that hundreds of individuals had a shift on a spiritual level. Philip's dedication to his religion and his desire to include it in his music was further strengthened as a result of this experience, as well as the impact of other Christian singers such as Leon Patio, who had previously served as the main singer for Santana. Even though he had a successful solo career, Philip never completely separated himself from the elements of earth, wind, and fire. In order to demonstrate his ability to maintain a healthy balance between his solo endeavors and his responsibilities to the band, which had been instrumental in the beginning of his career, he continued to tour and record with the band. The flexibility to explore musical realms beyond what was expected of him in earth, wind, and fire was afforded to Philip by his solo career, which allowed him to pursue his artistic interests. Working outside of the group, as he had mentioned in the past, was a freeing experience. During the solo portion of the performance, I was given the chance to go above and beyond what was expected of me within the group, and to make complete use of the full range of my instrument without any reservations whatsoever. The year 1998 saw the publication of Philip's album, Life and Love. Nevertheless, it was his succeeding albums that signaled yet another transition in his artistic path. His versatility as an artist was demonstrated by the fact that he worked alongside jazz greats like Pat Metheny and Grover Washington Jr. on the album Dreams. The album Soul on Jazz, which he released in 2002, was an additional exploration of his jazz leanings. The fact that Philip was prepared to consistently develop as an artist and explore new musical frontiers was evidenced by his explorations into jazz. Throughout his solo career, Philip has worked with a wide variety of musicians from a variety of musical genres during his collaborations. Over the course of the 1970s, he contributed his vocals to the album Yesterday's Dreams by jazz guitarist Alphonso Johnson and played percussion on the album Love Island by Emir Deodato. Ronnie Law's album Flame, which was released in 1978, featured his vocals as well. In the latter half of the 1970s, Philip worked to broaden his influence within the music business. The first album of the R&B band Kinsman Daz was produced by him, and he also contributed to the band's subsequent record as an arranger and a guest artist. His expertise in the music production process was expanded as a result of this experience, and he was able to make a contribution to the careers of musicians who were just starting out. When it came to the music industry in the 1980s, Philip's collaborations were like a who's who of partnerships. In the film In Square Circle, he collaborated with Stevie Wonder, Kenny Loggins on the film Vox Humana, and Ray Parker Jr. on the film After Dark. In addition, he collaborated with Denise Williams once more on her album titled As Good As It Gets. He worked with Little Richard on the title theme for the film Twins, which was released in 1988 and went on to gain chart success in Europe and get a nomination for a Golden Globe. This was one of the most unique collaborations that he created during this period. As part of an unexpected collaboration between people of different generations, he contributed uncredited vocals to Travis Scott's song Stop Trying to Be God, which was included on the album Astroworld in 2018. From the beginning of his solo career till the present day, Philip has remained committed to the upbeat and encouraging attitude to music that he brought to earth, wind, and fire. The fact that he stressed the importance of spiritual topics and personal development struck a chord with audiences and added to his everlasting appeal. During a conversation that took place in 2006, he expressed his desire to create music that people would like, music that would be innovative and would be given recognition. Without a doubt, Philip's influence on the music business is not limited to his success on the charts. The distinctiveness of his voice has been attributed to bringing about a transformation in the landscape of black music, and he has been one of the most important black pop performers since the early 1970s. Philip was recognized with a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame in 2003 along with 3 other members of the band, in appreciation of his accomplishments in music, both as a member of Earth, Wind and Fire and as a solo artist. This star was awarded to Philip in acknowledgement of his services to music. This honor is an appropriate homage to an artist who has made an indelible impression on the music business and has affected the lives of millions of fans all over the world, as well as in terms of their current standing and future potential. Philip's dedication and enthusiasm for his art have not diminished throughout his career, which spans several decades and has resulted in a multitude of achievements. Today, Philip continues to perform with members of Earth, Wind and Fire who have been with the band for a significant amount of time, such as bassist Verdine White and a vocalist who also plays percussion, Ralph Johnson. His vocal range, which spans 4 octaves and has been a distinguishing characteristic of his musical identity, continues to be as astonishing as it was when he first began. By continuing to be involved with Earth, Wind and Fire, Philip is demonstrating his unwavering dedication to the band that was instrumental at the beginning of his career. It is a demonstration of the integrity of the musical connections that he has developed throughout his career, as well as his commitment to maintaining and advancing the heritage of the band. On the other hand, Philip's current musical pursuits surpass the scope of his work with Earth, Wind and Fire. He continues to work on solo projects as well as collaborate with other musicians, always looking for new methods to express himself musically and to develop his skills. Taking his words to heart, I consider my whole professional life to be a process of continuously developing, maturing, and expanding. For me, the blessing of being able to create music is all about progressing. Taking the next step has always been the focus of that endeavor. Philip has been a strong proponent of this notion of continuous progress throughout his whole professional life, beginning with his early days in Denver, a place that is not normally associated with R&B, and working his way up to his current position as a musical elder statesman. He considers music to be a medium through which one may investigate, not only for himself as an artist, but also for the people who listen to him. He goes on to explain that music gives individuals the ability to go to locations that they would never be able to visit in their lifetime. However, you have the ability to transport them to another region of the planet, a distinct universe of sound, through the medium of music. Over the past several years, Philip has been honored with a great deal of praise in appreciation of the major contributions he has made to the field of music. In recognition of the significant effect he has had on the music industry, Berklee College of Music bestowed upon him an honorary doctorate of music in May of 2008. This was a remarkable gesture of recognition. In the course of the commencement ceremony, he was honored to deliver the commencement speech, during which he imparted his knowledge and experiences to a new generation of artists. After some time had passed, in November of 2017, he was honored with induction into the Colorado Music Hall of Fame, which was a fitting homage to his roots and his lifelong effect on the music community. Philip has managed to maintain a remarkable level of groundedness despite these awards and his legendary position. He believes that one of the most difficult components of his profession has been maintaining his modesty and not becoming overly influenced by his press. His capacity to continue developing and progressing as an artist is unquestionably influenced by the self-awareness and humility that he possesses throughout his career. When Philip is thinking back on his body of work, he is honest about both the projects that he believes should have received more acclaim and the ones that he has been successful with. The album Faces by Earth, Wind and Fire is one that he feels should have been more popular, and he praises the record's quality despite its lack of commercial success. In addition, he mentions his more recent solo album, Love Will Find a Way, which featured collaborations with a large number of young artists who are exceptionally skilled. Philip is aware that the manner in which people listen to music has undergone significant transformations throughout the course of time. He makes the observation that there is a huge amount of competition for our attention, which is why music does not cover the space it used to. There are hundreds of channels that may be accessed through your phone, the internet, and television together. Listening to music is not something that people do in the same way that we do. Philip has not wavered in his dedication to creating meaningful music, despite these changes. When asked about the legacy he wants to leave behind, he said that he wants his art to reflect a life spent in a positive way and service to others. I hope that the art I create will convey the message that he lived his life in a way that was a blessing to his creator and a constructive contribution to society. Looking to the future, he said that Philip shows no signs of slowing down. Although he is always looking ahead to what is next, he continues to perform, record, and collaborate. Given that he is prepared to collaborate with younger musicians and venture into uncharted musical territory, he will likely continue to be a prominent and relevant figure in the music world for many years to come. Philip's outlook and music are both heavily influenced by his personal life, which also plays a big part. He has been married 3 times and is now the father of 3 children. But how are his marriages? Find out. In 1975, Philip tied the knot with Judy Bailey. Marcel, Dorian, and Samantha were the 3 children that the couple became parents to together. In the 1980s, the couple continued to be married. Even though they were very close to one another and raised their children together, the connection ultimately resulted in the death of the couple. Philip had a tough time adjusting to his personal life after the marriage, but he never failed to demonstrate his concern and love for his children. In the year 1988, following his divorce from Judy, Philip tied the knot with Christina Bailey. Dorian was born to them, and he quickly became involved in his father's musical profession. The marriage was not without its challenges, but Philip and Christina managed to have a healthy connection with one another and continue to place a strong emphasis on the significance of family in their lives. Up to the middle of the 1990s, this marriage persisted. At the present moment, Philip is married to Kathy Bailey, and the couple tied the knot in the year 2006. The support that Kathy has provided to Philip in his personal life, as well as in his job as a musician, has been tremendous. They have a solid relationship despite the fact that they frequently have lovely moments together. Furthermore, Kathy is an essential source of support in Philip's life, particularly when he is going through particularly challenging moments. But what is Philip's life like now, after experiencing tragedy and deep personal struggle? Philip Bailey has maintained a vibrant musical career. He continues to perform and record, not only with Earth, Wind and Fire, but also in solo projects. He recently released his album, Philip Bailey's Dreams, which showcases a rich blend of musical genres, such as R&B, jazz and gospel. His performances continue to attract audiences, demonstrating his enduring appeal in the music industry. Philip also regularly attends major concerts and music events, bringing a lively experience to his fans. Regarding his personal life, Philip currently lives with his wife, Kathy Bailey, in a house in Los Angeles. They have a close relationship and often share happy moments. Philip is a devoted father and grandfather, spending time with his children and grandchildren. Philip not only performs and composes music, but he also frequently discusses his own experiences and opinions about life through interviews and other social media platforms. In his speeches, he frequently emphasizes the significance of sustaining a passion for music and establishing connections with friends and neighbors. Through his profound and sophisticated work, he has served as a source of inspiration for several generations of aspiring artists, highlighting the fact that success is not just the result of skill, but also of dedication and devotion. Not only is Philip Bailey a musician, but he is also dedicated to giving back to the community and participating in events that benefit worthy causes. Regularly, he makes appearances at events to help people who are in need and raise charity cash. We Are the World was a historic event that took place in the 1980s and brought together artists to collect money for the hunger that was occurring in Africa. It is considered to be one of his most famous events. In addition, he has participated in a large number of other charity performances, which have been held in favor of organizations such as the United Nations Children's Fund and the United Negro College Fund. Young people are encouraged to participate in music and develop their own abilities through the workshops and educational activities that Philip Bailey arranges in addition to his performances. He is of the opinion that music possesses the capacity to not only connect, but also inspire, therefore enhancing the lives of young people. In addition to this, he makes frequent appearances in the media to bring attention to various social concerns and to solicit assistance from the community. What do you think about his strong struggle? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.